Good morning, everybody. I'm Carl, and this is Life on the Road. Today we're taking a tour of my brand new 2021 Freightliner Cascadia, as you can see behind me here. I just purchased this. I just got it off the lot yesterday, so we're parked getting ready to transfer everything. But before I make a mess of the inside, I just wanted to go ahead and show you all the features of the truck. I did have this heavily customized, so this is not your typical truck, just a heads up. So just keep that in mind. Appreciate it. Let's start. So the first thing I did is I made sure that I put a deer guard on it. Don't need to be traveling down the highway, hit a deer at 60, 70 miles an hour, end up ruining a brand new truck. It is an X guard, black, just the same as the rest of the truck. The truck is entirely black. There is very little chrome or metal showing on here, and that's the way I wanted it. So here we have the motor. It is a Detroit Diesel 15 or a DD15. I had this one upgraded just a little bit. It is pushing 505 horsepower out of this one rather than the standard 465 or 435. I'm not sure exactly what the standard horsepower is on a normal engine. The reason I had this motor upgraded was because I want to be able to pull hills a little better. I am pushing 1,750 foot-pounds of torque out of the rear end, so I have a lot better pulling power out of the motor. So let's close this back up, but as you can see, hood's flipped up. That deer guard does drop down so I can open the hood. It does have a couple of latches on it. So let's get her closed up and take a look at the inside. So actually, there was a couple other things I wanted to show you on the outside, so we won't go inside quite yet. I do have two 120-gallon fuel tanks on here. And also, if you notice, there's that little fan box right there up at the top. That is for the air conditioning unit when the truck is turned off. Their air conditioning unit is run by an EPU, so it is an electronic power unit. It is actually run by batteries underneath of this door right here. There are 4 gel batteries that run that. Those gel batteries will last about 8 hours to 10 hours as I sit. And also I have the batteries underneath of the door here. Let me show you. In the battery box right here. So there are 4 batteries there. You can see them. And I have a total of 11,000 cold cranking amps on the truck. So I don't think I'll ever have a problem getting it started. As you can see, standard work lights, standard load lock holder, standard airlines. I don't like the straight airlines that are loose like this, so I think what I'm going to end up doing is soon, not right away, it's a matter of affordability, I'll be swapping these out for probably the ones that are all coiled together. So we'll get that done at a later date. I do have a sliding 5th wheel on here. As you can see, I've got all the little notches along here, so that allows me to slide the 5th wheel back and forth like this to level my load on the rear end. Now they did change a little bit of the configuration in the back. As you can see, the lights are not on a bar anymore, and I do have the 2 standard reverse lights that are incorporated into this. All the lighting on this, by the way, is LED, so less power sucked up. That's about it. We'll go ahead and, oh, I'm sorry, one other thing. I did have all the covers put on the wheels and tires. I don't know if you can see that. We'll walk back here and take a look. You can see I got the nut covers and the hub covers on all of the wheels. So up top, I also did have the rain visor put on, or the sun visor put on. That's got all the marking lights on it. Those are my overhead clearance lights. Also, I had these put on right here, which is to deflect the wind for when I roll down the window, I don't get a whole lot of air noise. This here is my logo. I had a young man here locally in town design that and put it on the truck. He just did that about 2 days ago, and I am absolutely impressed with his work. There is one other one. We do have one of just the silverback gorilla alone that's going to go up on the cowling up on the roof. just above the visor. So it's going to go up top, up there, up on the visor, so you won't be able to see it real well. Well, you will be able to see it real well driving down the road, just not standing down here. But we weren't able to put that on because we couldn't safely get any equipment up there to get it put on. So we're going to do that at a later date. So with this truck, I did spoil myself. This is another extra that I added on. But I got a key fob here. And the key fob is my lock and unlock the doors. And also there's a button at the very bottom of it where I can test all my external lights if I get out of the truck and forget to push the button in the truck. So we're going to go ahead and unlock this, and you'll notice this little light down here is going to flash when I unlock it. And now that it is unlocked, let's go ahead and take a look inside. I did get the entire inside done in black and tan, and that is the way I wanted it. That is another thing that I had to pay a little extra for, but I'm absolutely impressed with it. So I did get the premium leather seats. This is my height adjustment, and this is my level of heating and cooling. So this seat is actually heated and cooled depending on which way I flip that, and this button here adjusts the level of the heating or cooling that goes into the seat. Also here I have lumbar, lower lumbar, center back, and full back controls for air pressure in the back, so I can adjust that so I can ride comfortably. Also on here is a power cutoff switch. All I got to do is flip this switch down here to off, and that will actually shut down the electrical system to the entire truck. So, but we don't want to do that right now, so we're going to climb up in here. I do have an adjustable steering wheel, so it does, the tilt is controlled by this little mechanism here, so when I pop this down, it'll adjust up and down like this, but it also, I can telescope it in and out this way. So, and I've got it adjusted right where I want it. So, as we sit in the driver's seat, this is my instrument panel. That little digital area in the center shows me a whole bunch of information. Just to my right, down here, I have an air filter reminder, so that reminds me of changing the motor air filter. This right here is the PSI that I apply to the brake, how much pressure I apply to the brake. This here is how much pressure is applied downforce on the rear drive axle, so it tells me basically how heavy my load is. And this one here tells me how much power my turbo is putting out on the truck. Down below that, I have all my light controls. So I have a sleeper dome, and then my ambient light, and then I also have lighting down at the footwell. I also have a dome light just above me that this turns on and off. Obviously, this is my hazard lights. This is my utility lights. Now, the utility lights are on the back of the truck. They're two bright white lights, so if I have a trailer hooked up and I got to do work between the trailer and the truck, that I can see back there. This is my traction control spin, so I can turn that on or off here. And then I also have basically slide control. So basically, if I'm going down a hill in the snow and the truck starts to slide, this will automatically start to apply the brakes to straighten the truck back out properly. There is an engine override on this. I believe it is set to 15 minutes right now, but I'm getting ready to run to the dealership to have a whole bunch of stuff changed on this. And we're going to shut the override down so I can idle it 24/7 if I need to, which I should never really need to. Over here I have a light. I'm not sure what the HSA is. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. I'm going to have to look that one up. That's new to me. Over here we have a light test. So the light test button, basically when I press this and I get out of the truck, I can walk around the truck and it tests all my blinkers and flashers, high beams, low beams, turn signals, all that sort of stuff while I walk around the truck. So I only have to get out of the truck once to check all my lights during my pre-trips in the morning. This is my inner axle lock. So when this is not engaged, only the front set of the drive tires are used to drive the truck. You only apply this in inclement weather, slippery, snow, whatever on the ice, and you want to go slow with this. So basically what this does, it hydraulically locks the back end of the rear set of drive tires in. So I now have four-wheel drive on this. This is my air slide. I showed you that sliding fifth wheel, and this is what I use to engage and disengage the pins to move that fifth wheel. Also, I have what's called a suspension lift. So basically, if I need to get under a trailer that's just slightly lower, or I need to drop the truck a little more to get out from underneath of the trailer, this is the button, and it basically lets the airbags drop all the air pressure out of them so the back end of the truck drops low enough to get out from under the trailer. All my environmental controls are here. I have my transmission temperature here. This is for my forward axle, and this is, oh no, sorry, this is for my rear axle, and this is for my front axle, so it also gives me the temps on those to make sure they're not overheating driving down the road. Obviously, AM, FM, CD, Bluetooth, XM, SXM, satellite radio. So, and that's wonderful. I've already hooked my phone to it, so that's ready to go. I also have 3 power outlets here. I have 1 here, and I have 2 down here as well. So, and all my air vents. This cubby right here kind of upset me because it's not quite big enough to slide my phone into. So, I don't know what I'm going to put in there. Down here I have plenty of space. Cup holder here, cup holder down below. Normally that one's used for the passenger. Also over here, if you'll notice, there's no glove box. So they don't put a glove box on these models anymore. Unfortunately, I don't know why, but behind this panel, which is just a pop-off panel, is all my fuses and a lot of the relays for the truck for the interior. Up here, I have storage. So I flip this up, and I've got storage above the passenger seat. And close that. All my manuals and stuff. My CV hookup cables are all right here. And I got another storage unit here above the driver. Going up just a bit further, more storage inside. So there's another storage cubby. There's plenty of room in there. It's about 12 inches deep at the bottom and about 18 inches deep at the top because the back wall does curve on it. So there's one on both sides of the truck, above the passenger and above the driver. And then I also have all this storage space up front. And there's the other cabinet above the driver. Now the passenger seat is not heated and cooled. Only the driver's seat is. There's only the up and down, right, which is that big button right there, and then the 2 small ones over here are just the lumbar support. So no heating and cooling for the passenger, but that seat I plan on pulling out, and I'm going to put a like a dorm fridge here or something just a little bigger than the dorm fridge that I'll still be able to see the mirror as I look around it. So I need a clear view of the mirror while I'm in here. I have window curtains here, and then I have cabinet curtains here. And I normally use the window curtains. I don't like the cabinet curtains. It just closes the space off too much and doesn't give you a whole lot of room in the back. Starting in the back, I got a huge storage cabinet here. And normally that can be used for like cooking gear or whatever. I plan on to throw all my cooking gear up into one of these cabinets, or maybe 2, depending on how much cooking gear I have. So, but these are quite large. Just below that, I have a space for a full-size microwave oven. Thank goodness, because that little one I've been dealing with has been a real pain in the... yeah. Anyway, just below that, TV mount. So, that'll mount up to a 27-inch television. And yeah, I got that at home, so I'm going to get that installed. Just below that is a little storage tray area up here, just while I lie in bed and I can set stuff down or whatever. Also here is a pull-out drawer that allows me to store a bunch of cubby stuff, all my paperwork, stapler remover, things like that we'll be able to store. Now this used to be combined with the flat tray, which is on the other side of the truck now, and I'll show that here to you in just a moment. But yeah, they've separated them now, and I don't know why. Down below there, a mini fridge. So this is built in to make it look like part of the interior, thank goodness. Because the old models didn't have one, there was just a hole, and you had to buy an aftermarket fridge. There's a little bitty freezer in there. So, and I don't know if I'll be using that because I do have a Cosmetic cooler that I think I'm just going to turn into a freezer. So, but there is that. And LED lighting again on the inside. So we're going to stand up and turn around up here. Again, another storage cabinet up here behind the driver, which again, plenty of room. Stuff for cooking things and stuff like that, or cooking materials or food or whatever I want to store up there. Clothes closet. These things have a huge clothes closet. So there's a bar up there to hang all my hangers from, and it is plenty of room. This is a lot bigger than the storage closet I currently have now. What does that mean? More clothes. So below the storage closet, another little storage cubby just below that. You can't see it too well. See if I can break out the flashlight here. So there you go, another storage cubby is there. So, and just this thing has a ton of storage on it. I'm telling you, it is just amazing what this truck has. Below that are little vents down here that you see down here, and behind that is the cabin air filter, things like that. Now we're going to move on to the creme de la creme. Oh, sorry, one other thing. Up top, there's a ton of storage up here. So this is a shelf. I measured this morning. This side's about 16 inches deep, and up front in the back here is about 13 inches deep, and it goes all the way around the truck between the two storage cabinets. So it is totally impressive. I love that. So I went out and bought some totes to put up in there so I don't scratch the heck out of the carpeting system. It is carpeted back up in there, as you can see, but it's not real good carpeting, so we're going to protect it with some totes. Obviously I got speakers up in the back that you can see there. Also just above is all LED lighting. So this is all LED lighting for the inside, and that there is my dome light that I was telling you about on the switches. But this is all the ambient light for the back of the truck. So now we're going to move on to the creme de la creme. So as you can see, the bed is all set up. I've got it down right now, and they gave me a brand new plastic covered mattress. Still in the bag. I haven't even bothered taking it out of the bag yet. This here is a standard safety net that comes on all trucks. That's just in case someone is sleeping and you're driving down the road and have to slam on the brakes, they don't go tumbling out of the bed. Here's the neat thing about this though, is I take this bed, all I do is I grab it and I lift it up, and it locks into place. So once it's locked into place, as you can see, there's a table, and there's also a couple of chairs down here. And to get this table up, there's a small T-handle below the table, and I just pull out on that T-handle, and the table raises right up. And then if we look at the chairs, all I do is I reach in the back, and there's a little flip lever back here on this side. I push down on it, and the seat comes up. And pretty much the same thing on the other side. Little levers down here, press down, and that seat lifts up as well. So if you look at this carefully, you'll notice one seat is square with the table, and the other one's at a slight angle. And that slight angle is so if I'm sitting in that seat right there, and the TV is out there on the TV mount, I got a perfect view of the television. So this TV mount actually swings all the way out like this, so, and spins and turns, so I can leave that seat down and just put stuff on it or whatever, and then when I'm done and ready to roll, this slides back into place back in there just like that, and it's really stiff, so the TV's not going to go anywhere or anything like that. Also, another cool feature of this is if we look at the very back of the table back here, there's this little button right here. If I push down on that button, this table slides out and locks into place, and I don't know how well you can see it, but there are a couple of cup holders back there. So while I'm sitting at the table, I have a place for my cups or my drinks or whatever if I'm cooking and eating. So if I want it to go back in, again, I just press that button and slide it back in. Now, while the table is in the up position, this is something they didn't tell me because I was trying to figure out what was rattling around when I was driving the truck to the lot. This table slides constantly unless it's locked into place. To get the back of it to lock so it doesn't slide, all I have to do is, oh, come on, is drop the table. Maybe. And then the platform doesn't slide. And it's really hard to come up. So there you have it, folks. That's the tour of my truck. You have any questions? Let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to try to post some new stuff every Sunday or so is what I'm going to shoot for. Just once a week, give you an update, what I've done through the week, where I'm at, where I'm going, where I've been, and give you some footage of the road, stuff like that. So if you have any questions, just let me know in comments below or text me if you have my number. Most of my friends and family will. And I will see you next time.